In 1922, Howard Carter opened Tutankhamun's tomb in Egypt. Within 7 years, 12 people connected to the excavation were dead. Who funded the dig died 4 months after entering the tomb from an infected mosquito bite. His dog died the same night, at his home in England, 3,000 miles away. George J. Gould, who visited the tomb, died of pneumonia 4 months later. Arthur Mace, who helped break the seal, died shortly after from unexplained causes. The newspapers called it the Pharaoh's curse. Scientists called it coincidence. But the death toll kept rising. Here are the most cursed artifacts ever found, the trail of death and destruction each one left behind, and why some of them are still killing people today. The Hope Diamond, 300 years of bankruptcy, suicide, and murder. The Hope Diamond is a 45.52-carat blue diamond currently sitting in the Smithsonian Museum. It's worth $250 million. And according to legend, everyone who's owned it has suffered catastrophic misfortune. The curse supposedly started in India. The diamond was stolen from the eye of a Hindu idol in the 1600s. The thief who took it was torn apart by wild dogs. The diamond made its way to France, where King Louis XIV bought it in 1668. He died of gangrene in 1715. Refused to wear it. His grandson, Louis XVI, inherited it and was beheaded during the French Revolution in 1793. After the Revolution, the diamond disappeared for 20 years. It resurfaced in London in 1812, purchased by a gem dealer named Henry Philip Hope, which is how it got its name. Hope died bankrupt. His nephew inherited it and also died in financial ruin. The diamond was sold to pay debts. In 1901, Evelyn Walsh McLean bought the Hope Diamond. Within years, her son was killed by a car at age 9. Her daughter died of an overdose at 25. Her husband left her for another woman and died in a psychiatric hospital. Her family's newspaper, the Washington Post, went bankrupt. She died alone and broke in 1947. The diamond was donated to the Smithsonian in 1958. His wife died of a heart attack. His house burned down. He survived all of it, but later said he believed the diamond was genuinely cursed. But here's what makes this terrifying. Scientists have tested the Hope Diamond and found it's radioactive. Not enough to kill you immediately, but anyone wearing it regularly for years absorbs low-level radiation. The curse might be real, just not supernatural. It's radioactive poisoning disguised as bad luck. The Dybbuk box, the wine cabinet that terrorized everyone who touched it in 2001. A Holocaust survivor named Hafela died in Portland, Oregon. Her granddaughter held an estate sale. One of the items was a simple wooden wine cabinet. The first buyer opened it, found it contained locks of hair, a dried rosebud, and a candlestick, then immediately returned it, saying this belongs to a Dybbuk, a malicious spirit in Jewish folklore. Kevin Manis, an antique dealer, bought the box for $15. Within hours, his store was destroyed. Every light bulb shattered simultaneously. Shelves collapsed. He brought the box home. That night, his mother suffered a massive stroke while standing near it. She survived, but lost her ability to speak. Manis gave the box to his sister. She returned it after 3 days, saying she woke up to see a dark figure standing over her bed every night. He gave it to his brother, who also returned it immediately, reporting the same experience. Manis tried to give it away multiple times. Everyone returned it within days, reporting nightmares, apparitions, and unexplained illnesses. He finally sold it on eBay in 2003, listing it honestly as a haunted Jewish wine cabinet box. A college student named Iosif Nitsky bought it for $140. His health collapsed immediately. Hives covered his body. His hair started falling out in clumps. He coughed up blood. Doctors couldn't find a cause. He sold it on eBay after 4 months. The box was purchased by Jason Haxton, director of a medical museum, who documented everything. He reported constant nightmares, vision problems, and mysterious health issues. He kept the box, sealed in an acacia wood case lined with gold, the traditional materials for containing dybbuk according to Jewish mysticism. His health improved once the box was sealed. Post Malone touched the dybbuk box during a tour. He was filming a documentary and opened the case against warnings. Within months, his plane's tires blew out during an emergency landing. His house was burglarized. He was involved in a car crash. He later said on a podcast that touching the box was the worst decision he ever made and believes it cursed him. The box is real. The deaths and illnesses are documented. Whether it's cursed by a dybbuk or contains toxic materials that cause the health effects, nobody knows, but the pattern is consistent. Everyone who owns it suffers immediate, severe misfortune until they get rid of it. The Bassano vase killed 12 owners in 50 years. The Bassano vase is a 15th century Italian silver vase with an inscription warning that it brings death. According to records, it was created in Bassano del Grappa for a bride on her wedding night. She was found dead hours after receiving it, clutching the vase. The vase passed through Italian families for centuries. 12 consecutive owners had died shortly after acquiring it. Pharmacist records from the region document these deaths, though cause of death was often listed as unexplained illness or sudden organ failure. An anonymous owner had enough. They donated the vase to a museum, including a note that said, "Beware. This vase brings death." The museum initially displayed it, but after 3 months, the museum director removed it from display, citing staff concerns. Staff members reported feeling unwell when near the vase. One curator developed a severe respiratory infection that required hospitalization. The museum buried the vase in an undisclosed location in the Italian countryside. The director said publicly that the vase was too dangerous to keep. To this day, the burial location is secret. The museum refuses to say where it is, stating they don't want anyone attempting to dig it up. Here's what's likely happening. The vase is 15th century Italian silver, created during an era when silversmithing used mercury, lead, and arsenic in the crafting process. Touch the vase regularly, and you're absorbing heavy metal poisoning. Hold it close to your body, like the bride did on her wedding night, and you absorb a significant dose. The curse is chemical poisoning that 15th century people had no way to understand or diagnose. Annabelle, the doll that tried to kill its owners. Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll that sits in a locked case at Ed and Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum in Connecticut. The case has a sign, warning, positively, do not open. According to the Warrens, the doll has killed 1 person and injured several others. In 1970, a woman named Donna received the doll as a birthday gift. Within weeks, she and her roommate Angie noticed the doll was moving on its own. They'd leave it on the bed. It would be sitting in a chair when they returned. They'd position its arms down. They'd be raised when they came home. They found handwritten notes that said, "Help us," in childlike handwriting. They didn't own that type of paper. A friend named Lou warned them to get rid of it. That night, Lou woke up to find Annabelle on his chest. He couldn't move. He felt something strangling him. He passed out. When he woke up, the doll was back in the living room. 3 days later, Lou and Angie heard noises in Donna's room. Lou went to check. The room was empty, except for Annabelle sitting in a corner, 3 horizontal, that appeared instantly and began bleeding. He ran. The marks disappeared within 48 hours, leaving no scars, which Lou later said was impossible for wounds that deep. Donna contacted a medium, who said the doll was possessed by the spirit of Annabelle Higgins, a 7-year-old girl who died in that apartment. The medium said Annabelle was harmless. Things got worse. The Warrens were called in. Ed Warren determined the doll wasn't possessed by a child. It was being manipulated by an inhuman spirit that wanted to possess a human. They took the doll. During transport, their car's brakes and steering failed multiple times. Ed splashed the doll with holy water and commanded the spirit to leave it alone. The car functioned normally afterward. They placed Annabelle in their museum in a sealed glass case. In 1980, A man visiting the museum mocked the doll and pounded on the case. Ed Warren asked him to leave. The man and his girlfriend left on a motorcycle. They crashed on the way home. The girlfriend survived. The man died instantly. Police said he lost control for no apparent reason. Museum staff report that the doll has moved positions inside the sealed case multiple times. Security camera footage shows it shifting slightly when no one is in the room. In 2020, a social media rumor claimed Annabelle had escaped. The museum posted a photo proving she was still locked in the case. Tony Spera, son-in-law of the Warrens and current museum director, said Annabelle is still very active and they will never remove her from the case. The doll is real. The incidents are documented by multiple witnesses. Whether it's genuinely possessed or there's a psychological explanation for the experiences people have around it, mechanical failures during transport, the Crying Boy paintings, the artwork that survived fires while everything else burned in the 1950s. Italian artist Giovanni Bragolin painted a series of portraits featuring crying children. The paintings became mass-produced and sold across Europe. Firefighters in England noticed a disturbing pattern. Houses completely destroyed by fire would have one thing intact, the Crying Boy painting, sitting undamaged in the ashes. In 1985, the Sun newspaper investigated. They documented 50 cases of house fires where the Crying Boy painting survived while everything else was destroyed. The families reported unusual events before the fires, electrical malfunctions, appliances turning on by themselves, unexplained heat, and in several cases, the smell of burning when nothing was on fire. The newspaper ran a story titled "The Curse of Crying Boy." Readers responded with hundreds more reports of fires in homes containing the painting. One firefighter stated publicly that the painting had been found intact in so many fires that firefighters refused to allow them in their own homes. The British public panicked. Thousands of people destroyed their Crying Boy paintings. The newspaper organized a mass burning event where readers brought their paintings to be destroyed. Over 2,500 paintings were burned in a single bonfire. But here's the rational explanation. The paintings were printed on fire-retardant materials in the 1950s to prevent them from being destroyed during transport. The frames were also treated with flame retardant. Everything burns except fire-resistant materials, which is why the paintings survived. The paintings didn't cause the fires, they just didn't burn like everything else did. Except that doesn't explain the pattern. Why did fires happen more frequently in homes with these specific paintings? Why did multiple families report electrical issues before the fires? Fire investigators found no common cause for the fires, different sources, different circumstances. The only commonality was the painting. Today, the paintings are considered so cursed that auction houses refuse to sell them. Online listings are removed. Antique dealers won't stock them. If you want one, you have to find it at an estate sale and hope the previous owner didn't die in a house fire. The Delhi purple sapphire, stolen from a temple, cursed the British Empire. The Delhi purple sapphire isn't actually a sapphire. It's a 30-carat amethyst. It was looted from the Temple of Indra in Kanpur, India. During the Indian Rebellion of 1857, Ferris stole it. His life collapsed immediately. His fortune, and died bankrupt. His son inherited the stone and also suffered financial ruin and severe health problems. The stone was sold to Edward Heron Allen, a scientist who experienced immediate misfortune. Friends who borrowed the stone also reported disasters, financial collapses, illnesses, deaths in their families. Heron Allen tried to give it away twice. It was returned both times by people who said it brought nothing but bad luck. In 1890, Heron Allen threw the stone into Regent's Canal in London. A dredger returned it to him, having found it during canal cleaning. Heron Allen gave up. He sealed it in 7 nested boxes with a letter that said, "Whoever opens this shall first read this warning. This stone is trebly accursed and is stained with the blood and dishonor of everyone who has ever owned it." He donated it to the Natural History Museum in London with instructions that it remain sealed until 3 years after his death. The museum opened it in 1943. Staff reported feeling uneasy around it. The curator who opened the boxes developed severe illness shortly after. The stone is now displayed at the museum, but with Heron Allen's original warning. The curse documentation is extensive. Multiple owners, multiple disasters, multiple documented attempts to destroy or dispose of the stone. Whether the curse is supernatural, or whether the stone contains toxic materials from the temple where it was stolen, the pattern is consistent and verified by historical records. The Woman from Lem statue, 3,500 years of dead owners. The Woman from Lem is a limestone statue discovered in Lem. Everyone who's owned it has died within 7 years. First owner, Lord Elfont, died 4 years after acquiring it, along with all 7 members of his family. Second owner, Ivor Minucci, owned it for 6 years. He and his entire family died. Third owner, Lord Thompson Noel, owned it for 4 years. He and his family died. Fourth owner, Sir Alan Biverbrook, kept it for less than a year before donating it to the Royal Scottish Museum in 1933. He refused to explain why, saying only that it should be locked away. The museum locked it in storage and refuses to display it. Museum records document that curators who've handled the statue for inventory purposes have experienced unusual illnesses. No deaths have occurred since it was locked in storage in 1933. But the museum has no plans to ever display it publicly. The pattern across 55 years and 4 families is statistically impossible to dismiss. 7 years or less, every owner died. Every family member died. When the museum locked it away, the deaths stopped. And the museum's official position is that it will stay there indefinitely. These aren't campfire stories or urban legends. These are documented artifacts with verified death tolls, medical records, historical documentation, and in some cases, scientific analysis showing toxic materials or radioactive properties that explain the curse through chemistry rather than supernatural means. The Hope Diamond is radioactive. The Crying Boy paintings have an unexplained statistical correlation with house fires. Annabelle's phenomena have been witnessed by dozens of people. The Delhi Purple Sapphire's curse is documented across 150 years. The Woman from Lem killed 4 consecutive families before being locked away. Whether you believe in curses or not, the evidence is clear. These artifacts have a documented history of destruction that follows them wherever they go. Some are explained by science. Others remain unexplained. And all of them have body counts.